Good morning. Welcome to the No Way Jose podcast. This is the Morning Dump. I am your host, Jose Galison, and this is the kitty of the day, Jeff, this big bastard. Now, if you like seeing my hot takes Monday through Friday, we try to shoot for 11 a.m. Eastern. We don't always make it every day. We don't always make it on time, but we try to make it. And now, if you just like seeing that, or if you like seeing the kitty of the day, then be sure that subscribe button and hit that bell for notifications so you know when I go live or when I drop a new video, because you never know when that'll be. We'll see you in the show.
Beautiful thing, right now.
Rise and shine, it's a beautiful day. I am alright.
About a third of the building has been blown away.
This is the bridge to white lights.
Our very freedom came under attack in a series of deliberate and deadly terrorist acts.
And at that point, we were taken for another round of questioning, this time related to our allegedly being members of Mossad.
It's crazy evil.
Good morning, good morning. Welcome back to the Morning Dump, everybody. We have plenty to go through with you guys today. Sorry we're a little bit late. We're barely morning. Morning in most time zones in the United States, but not quite in the Eastern. But hey, whatever. I had a weird day. The morning was a little thrown off. I could have probably made the normal time, but my whole routine was thrown off. So I went a little bit late today. Look forward to talking to you guys today. We have small hat struggle sessions. We got Warrantless Ice and Kirk Crazies to talk about. As always, we'll start the show off with, oh my God, what the hell? Do you guys hear that? I'm sorry, that's Jeff screaming for no reason. I know why. It's because my daughter's in the other room and he wants her to come out or to let him in. So he's going to sit there and cry for forever until I throw a shoe at him or something. But anyways, sorry, that threw off the what I was trying to do. But yeah, we'll start off the show with Icebreaker Content, and then we'll get into the foreign policy section. And then from there, we'll get into those main topics we talked about at the beginning. We'll pop in and out in between segments, say hi to everybody in the chat, say good mornings, all that good stuff. I won't linger in there too much, try to see what seems relevant. I do want to remind you guys, I am remonetized, so if you guys do want to actually make sure your chat gets read as opposed to me just kind of skimming through and seeing what sounds interesting between segments, then be sure to hit us. Be sure to super chat. You can do that. We get super thanks, all the super duper things over on YouTube now. You can do the same thing on Rumble as well, but I think StreamYard is not integrated correctly, so I don't think I get like a notification. So if you do, you're just donating, and I may not notice. So, oh my God, Jeff's gonna drive me nuts. But all right, guys, let's go ahead and get into some of the Icebreaker content off the job. And then we'll pop in and say good morning to everybody showing up, despite the fact it's barely morning. It's definitely not for me. Oh my God, Jeff. I'm for real about to throw a shoe at him. I'm about to throw my chancleta, or whatever the hell it is, from across the thing. Can you guys hear him? Let me know if you can hear him, because maybe it's just driving me nuts and it's not driving you guys nuts. But it is driving me nuts. But to start off, let's talk about this new generation, Gen Z. Apparently, according to Fortune, Gen Z is arriving to college unable to even read a sentence. Yes, I've met Nick Shirley too. I haven't literally met him, but I don't know. We've talked about him on this show. Also, big shout out to @channel_Ocho. Appreciate staying on the grind, being a regular producer of the show. Let me know what's up. It's guys like you that help me find. I totally forgot to mention that to Matt the other day when I had him on the Morning Dump. He was asking me how I do it. I'm sorry. I apologize to you guys. I know there's a good crew of you guys out there who do tag me and things and keep me abreast of what's going on. So I do like breasts. So definitely keep keeping me abreast. So let me know what's going on. If you're out there, if you're hanging out in the Twitter world, if you see something that sounds like perfect for the show, you can always leave a shout out. Say @TowerGangJose and. It's the bat beacon or whatever, the bat signal, and I'll know, oh, geez, this is some content for the show, so appreciate it. But, yes, but on the other side of Gen Z, we got people like Clavicular here. Here he is partying in the Here he is partying in Miami. The significance of this is he actually recently apparently got banned from all Miami nightclubs by the mayor. Although I guess that's a thing you can do. I don't know. Maybe we'll figure out some of the specifics of that. I didn't know the mayor had that sort of authority. Him out. That seems a little bit like a judge, jury, and executioner to me. But we'll get into that more in our first segment when we get into it, the first main segment of the day. But here's Clavicular partying it up in Miami. Apparently, he snuck into a club disguised as a pimp, which I feel like is kind of like an anti-disguise. It's literally just going to wear a flashy outfit as myself, not really disguising myself at all. And he was still able to get into Miami nightclub. But supposedly that's rumors he got banned, which that will be significant for the first segment of the day. But let's watch old Clavicular partying it up here in Miami.
I like this place. This is a fun spot.
Looks like there was like security behind him or something. Okay, so here he is in Miami partying again. Clavicular, which don't get me wrong, he's a fun LOL Cal or whatever it is the kids say, but I do have to say, I know we talked about him a while back on the show. I do have to mention I do not endorse his lifestyle. I've learned a little bit more about kind of how he's kind of going the transhumanism route in the more of the enhanced way, maybe, souping himself up with anabolic steroids and beating himself in the face with a hammer and stuff. Obviously, a lot of that stuff's retarded, but he does have. There's some funny aspects about him. But I do have to, just to put out a disclaimer, just for any young men out there, maybe looking at particularly, especially the anabolic stuff. Apparently, supposedly, he's infertile, which, according to him, from his usage of things like anabolic steroids, which I've told you guys. I think I've told you guys before that I've used, essentially toyed with my endocrine system in order to enhance myself in the past. And I'm actually open to the idea of people doing that. I think they should be fully legal. I actually think, hell, I kind of wish they were cheaper. If I could be on them fairly regularly, if I had a lifestyle where I could cycle regularly, I probably would do it. But one thing I just said in that phrase there is pretty key. Cycle, which is apparently he doesn't cycle. He just stays on that shit, which is probably the dumbest shit you could do for your endocrine system. It's a good way to fuck up, become infertile, grow bitch tits whenever you go off of it. It makes you dependent on a... funny enough, it kind of makes you the same thing as, everyone makes fun of the trannies and they need their medicine or whatever. Same thing. Yeah, that's what you're making yourself into when you become dependent on it. You're supposed to cycle. You're supposed to go on and off, on and off. And also on top of that, let's be real. He's not even that, fucking yoked or anything. So he's 18, 19 years old or something, and he's fucking around with roids and isn't really even that far along in his, probably, his muscular development, I guess you could say. He doesn't look like someone particularly that, is, a crazy fitness. He's not, yoked out of his mind. He's got, kind of, I don't know, a swimmer's body, I guess you could say. He looks in shape, but it's still kind of why are you fucking around with roids? So yes, I would not endorse his lifestyle, but he's still a funny character. You gotta give a shout out to the old timers too. Apparently, they're getting kind of with it. Here's Alex Jones on Wang Half.
White boy. I don't like when people say white boy, but it's more like white something, like another term of endearment, you might say.
The reason I'm asking you to say it is I heard it, I saw it in the shirt, but I can't remember how you say it. Go ahead, just say it, Nick.
Wang Half. And we're white ass nigga. That's what it is, okay? You told me to say it, I said it.
White ass niggas going hard as fuck. I think they're black folks, white folks love that.
Okay, put that directly into my veins. You guys know I've had some choice words about Nick. I'm not this isn't me fanboying, but I do gotta say the Wang Half credo is pretty hard. I gotta give that's pretty hard, and I also think it is pretty prescient for our time. This is the time with the white ass nigga going hard as fuck, but I gotta say, Alex Jones, and clearly probably his voice being given out recently, going hard. Just, yes, I want that to be my ringtone. I need to figure out how to make that my ringtone. That way I can hear it every time someone calls, texts, any notification. I need to hear that. I need that directly in my veins. Let's get that again.
That's what it is, okay? You told me to say it, I said it.
White ass niggas going hard as fuck. I think they're black folks, white folks love that. I see all these black folks saying, we love you, white people. We're sick of the illegals too. You're on niggas too. I think we all just need to be friends, right?
They do. They love it. And it's funny because I have a clip from my show where I say Wang Half, and black people post edits of themselves on Instagram to the audio. So everybody loves it. And it's a message, like you said, we're not politically correct. We are out there, and white people, we have space in the country too. White boy. I don't like when people say.
All right, okay, whatever. All right, speaking of similar vein, here's a blast from the past. I want to let you guys know, if you didn't know it, apparently Gary Oldman, the British actor, he's a real one. This apparently, take this as far as you can from Uncommon Sense, on Twitter. It's about 300,000 followers. He could have totally made up this quote, but apparently Gary Oldman had thoughts back when, I guess, kind of on the whole Mel Gibson stuff back in the day, back in 2014. He was quoted saying, "I don't know about Mel. He got drunk and said a few things. But we've all said those things. We're all fucking hypocrites. That's what I think about it. The policeman who arrested him has never used the word nigger or that fucking Jew. I'm being brutally honest here. It's a hypocrisy of it that drives me crazy." Did Mel get arrested for saying shit? Like, that's what I'm confused about. I mean, maybe I need to brush up on my Mel Gibson lore, but I know he did get in trouble for going hard on the Jays. Saying some choice words back in the day, which I don't know, and any one of us could be. He is right, Gary Oldman. That is hypocritical. Moving into the last icebreaker content bit for today, we got. I've seen this one being shared around a bunch, and I actually think this is a clip Austin wanted to play on Already Dead recently. I think I may have played a different variant on it. Apparently, this guy. I don't know. I need to dig into who the fuck this dude is. But this Navy intelligence specialist, this guy right here, let me see. Maybe we can play the clip here in a second. It says, former Navy intelligence specialist says podcasters are being blackmailed through web search history to push government narratives or risk major legal or reputational repercussions. So with that, guys, I just wanted to get ahead of this. Just so just got to be honest here, just in case, I love big titty milfs. Obviously I'm being a little bit silly. Let's be real. I think this is probably more targeted at people who are like, maybe CP, that sort of thing, naughty kitty stuff or something. Although, I don't know, who knows? Maybe they're the Nick Shirleys of the world. They'll be like, we saw you looked up girls kissing each other once, and now you're ours. And he's such a Mormon dork that it works. But, yeah, apparently that's a thing. Which, I mean, who's surprised? I'm not. I don't know. We need to figure out a way to if they ever get me, what I need to say. Because although I was thinking about this the other day, and it's like, why wouldn't you just plant CP? Like, what is? I feel like it's. I mean, maybe I'm retarded when it comes to tech. I guess you have AI that's kind of doing this stuff for you now, so they can just generate the blackmail. But it just seems like it'd be a lot of work. Because I'm sure that if you were some intelligence agency, you could get just about any human being, and you could create some sort of dossier that maybe is mostly based in truth, or even you restrict it to have grains of truth to it, and you could really probably create a compromising dossier for just about anybody, but with the framing being a grain of truth. But it kind of makes you wonder, why you don't really need the grain of truth. You could just be like, oh, hey, that's good. Hey, look at all the CP I found in your computer. What the hell are you talking about? And you're like, look at this folder. And you're like, oh my God. You're like, thank God I'm here to help you. It's gone now. You're like, they can totally do that stuff. So I'm surprised they don't just do that more often. This seems like a lot of work to have to compile a dossier, because that does seem like you'd have to meticulously dig through and be like, they did this thing that one time, and I mean, how far can you really get with just their normal? If you're a normal dude with their search history, you're like, okay, cool. He likes big butts. What can we do with this one? But yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if they're just planting some stuff too. I mean, I don't know. Whatever. I'm just kind of thinking out loud here. It just feels like it'd make more sense just to plant that shit on people. I don't know. We'll have to figure out a code word if they ever compromise me. We'll figure out something later. But let's pop over the chat, say some good mornings, and then we'll get into foreign policy. Then we'll get into those main topics. Good morning, OG Meets a Ball. Good morning, good morning, good morning, Evan Griffin. How did you beat Jose? Fucking just one of those days, dude. Good morning, Scott. Good morning, good morning. Good morning, Tilla. Good morning, Stinky Socks. Says shitting on company time right now. Hell yeah, brother. Was it boss makes $1, I make a dime? That's why I shit on company time. Good morning, Zoe. 99993 says I hate my fake job. Our whole economy runs on make work. Yup. That's basically every single government job. Good morning, Alien Big Cat 23. Degenerate homosexual Zion Nazis. Hi, welcome. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Marty McFly. Good morning, Fire Pixie. Good morning. Good morning. PJ says is the best thumbnail so far. Yes, it was a fun one. I enjoyed this one. Good morning, retardo. Says morning, Jose and fellow dumpers. Good morning to you. Good morning. By the way, I'm not going to play that clip. We'll save that for Already Dead. Give you a reason to pop in next Already Dead. Me and Awesome will play that. Good morning, Ray and Caps. As a reminder, clavicular is the first male-to-male transgender. Sees Northside. Good morning, good morning. So hell yeah, I kept checking back. I had faith Jose would make it. I did. Here we are. Good morning, Chathead. Good morning. Or Chadhead. Good morning, good morning. Marty McFly says, I found a 5-part James Day Medium article on JFK that's intense. I don't know. That James Day doesn't ring a bell, but feel free to tag me on it if you're on Twitter, and maybe I'll check it out when I get a chance. Alien Big Cat not feeling so good. Got chest infection. Yeah, I've been sick the past couple days too, so that's why I missed TMD yesterday. And I almost apology to the patrons. I had to bail on last night's episode mid-episode. So that's part of what made this morning kind of weird. It was just I had to end up having to pick the wife up from work. And yeah, if you're a patron, you got to see some of behind the scenes because we kept it streaming. We'll later. What I think we'll do is we'll probably I'll probably get Jacob, my producer, to hook it up, and we're gonna tonight record the rest of it, and then we'll just splice them together. We'll act like nothing ever happened. It'll be weird for people watching when we have different clothes on and stuff, but we just want to address it. You guys will know what's up though. So yeah, I haven't been feeling too good. I hope you feel better. He says snorting steroids does that, as does screwing trans on crack. Yep. Good morning, comment mama. Good morning. What else we got here? Apparently there's PJR is saying there was a great Gary Oldman movie last night called Backwoods, like the British version of Deliverance. Interesting. Good morning, comment mama. I don't know if they said good morning to you already. Good morning, J Foot. Oh yes, I'm pretty sure the rants were while getting arrested for DUI. Oh, that makes it even better. That's awesome. I mean, okay, well then I don't really know what the point of calling the cop a hypocrite is, because it's like he's there for the DUI. I don't think he cares that you said kike or you said nigger or whatever. But whatever, I gotta find that. I gotta find that. Maybe we'll play them on the show one of these days. I wonder if they have like a body cam or something. That's got to be before body cam. So maybe like a police cam. Tell me in the chat, is there some sort of documented proof of this? I feel like I vaguely recall a recording, but I feel like he's been got a few times. I feel like somehow I might be mixing it up. There's been a few celebrities that they've got with stuff like this, with weird recordings and stuff. What else we got? Scott says my favorite stack was Trenbolene, Winstrol 5, and Anavar back in 1985. Hell yeah. Let's go. What else we got? Good morning, Jorge. Good morning. Polar vortex steam today? I don't know what that means. Oh yeah, it's cold everywhere else for you guys. Haha, see me in a cutoff. Suck it. Good morning, Fats Cats. Good morning. What else we got? Oh, good morning, Bug Fights. You popped in last second. Let's get into the foreign policy stuff. Sorry if I still sound a little bit gunked up. And then I'm on that like weird dried out part of being gunked up. Like I had the sniffles. I don't know if you saw my Matt episode. I kept having to like use a hanky. So sorry if I sound gross, but I'm like the dried out side of it, so it's less egregious. So apologies. I'll try to mute whenever I gotta do something gross, but a little bit better than before. At least it's not the stiff like that kind of crap anymore. It's just the weird gunked up nonsense. But let's get into foreign policy. Jumping into first, give you a little update. What's going on in Greenland? He pussied out, that little bitch. Trump. I'm just kidding. I didn't want him to do it anyways. So, but apparently Trump says Greenland deal gives U.S. total access without the U.S. paying anything. I'll just go ahead and give you guys a spoiler. Nothing really changed, and they're branding it as if they got some crazy deal. So Trump said the agreement he's negotiating regarding Greenland will give the U.S. total access, which is, from my understanding, basically what we had before. It's really being negotiated now, the details of it, but essentially it's total access. There's no end. There's no time limit. Trump said in an interview on Thursday, "We will have everything we want. We're getting everything we want at no cost." On Wednesday, Trump met with NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte to discuss Greenland. Following the meeting, he announced that they had reached the framework of an agreement for the Danish colony without providing details. A Danish politician told the New York Times that Denmark was willing to give the U.S. sovereignty over small portions of Greenland to build military bases. So They're just letting, which they probably would have been willing to do regardless. The new agreement does not appear to be substantially different from the 1951 treaty that governs the U.S. relationship with Greenland. Under the pact, the U.S. is allowed to build new bases and expand its existing ones in the Danish colony. Trump has argued the U.S. must seize Greenland from Denmark to protect the colony from Russian or Chinese invasion. So I guess for now we can all breathe a sigh of relief. We will not be invading Greenland as of right now. But Canada is a little bit concerned. They're freaked out. They're preparing for a hypothetical invasion. But maybe everyone always jokes about 5D chess, but the fallout from this whole Greenland thing, like I don't know. Obviously, I'm not saying he actually meant to do this. I do think this is all retarded, but hey, 5D chess. We got our northern border people now. They're prepared for unconventional warfare. We're getting them ready now. We have like a fucking ready to roll, ready for war. We have perfect protection to our north now because they're concerned we might invade, but now we don't have to worry about anyone else coming down through there. Got these war fighters as top hats, so that's cool. We got them preparing for that, and also we had a recent speech by Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney that a lot of people have been playing on all their shows. I'm not going to play the thing here. But he had a little speech kind of talking about basically there's a rift in the world order, and that kind of even admitting that a lot of these bigger countries have kind of given way to the U.S. and such, kind of saying a lot of the quiet parts out loud, and which at the time was kind of in hey, we need us middle powers need to kind of get together and work together to not allow the big bad world powers push us around. Essentially, kind of creating rifts in these world orders that most of us don't like anyways, which in a certain, looking from the big picture, you're like, oh, this actually is kind of good. So it's like we don't end up doing the bad thing and then we just get the result that kind of is helpful. Sometimes doesn't always work out that way, but it is pretty interesting that how this all is playing out, all this whatever the fuck this weird stuff is. But I don't know. I think there might be some stuff actually happening. Not everything's going to work out good. Breaking up the New World Order. We have things like this. Apparently, Trump says the U.S. Armada is moving towards Iran, which that's what everyone was kind of rumored to. Was kind of throwing about as the reason why we didn't have these attacks recently, which. What was it when he made the threats about the protests or whatever, when ironically we had our own protester, domestically get domed and kind of ICE being jackbooted thugs, which we'll get into in the second segment today. We have, ironically, Trump was threatening Iran to, essentially to intervene in some way, shape, or form if they were killing protesters, which apparently they were, But, then apparently a lot of people pointed out, like, oh, we have these carriers that aren't even properly in place. We just do not have the war power to be able to pull off such a thing like this. And then wouldn't you know, we start hearing reports about these armadas moving, and now Trump himself is saying it. So he's saying the U.S. Armada is moving towards Iran. He said on yesterday, he's sending an armada towards Iran, threatening Tehran against resuming its nuclear program. So now we've moved over back to nuclear. So we're just going to kind of jump all over for reasons. Now it's not protests. It's no longer the silly missile defense nonsense. Now it's nuclear programs. Okay. All right. Well, whatever. We're going back to the classics. If it ain't broke, why fix it? So that's what they're getting into now. But let's see what old Benny Pooh has to say about this. Give me a second. Of course, StreamYard's glitching, so I got to bring this back up. And as Dave Smith points out here, he says, remember last year when Ben Shapiro swore that he doesn't advocate, dang, stupid. That the U.S. fight wars on Israel's behalf? Yeah, that was a lie. Well, let's see what Ben has to say now. It seems things have changed a little bit.
The president may be considering military options still. It would be very difficult, I think, for the president to not consider some sort of major move against Iran, considering he drew a red line, the mass murder of protesters. Iran didn't just cross the red line, they jumped over it with both feet, shooting protesters by perhaps the tens of thousands in the streets in Iran. According to the Wall Street Journal, President Trump is still pressing aides for what he terms decisive military options. The discussions are happening while the U.S. sends an aircraft carrier and jet fighters to the Middle East. Those deployments may be the start of a broader buildup that would give President Trump the firepower to strike Iran should he choose to use them. So A revised suite of options are being created for the president, including some that would seek to push the regime out of power. How much can be done with air power is really the big question. The White House has to grapple with whether the administration is prepared to carry out a sustained military campaign that might last weeks or months should the protesters in Iran again take to the streets and appeal to President Trump for protection. However, suffice it to say that if the president really does not take significant action against the Iranian government in the aftermath of telling the protesters to stay out in the street and, quote, help is on the way, that would not only be disastrous for the protesters in Iran, it would in fact be a signal to places like China that going after, say, Taiwan would not be reacted to by the United States with any sense of strength or alacrity. I very much doubt the president is going to do nothing.
I'll be honest, I wish they would do nothing if they did something with Taiwan. Now, I don't want them to fuck around with Taiwan, but yeah, the idea that we are some sort of backstop for Taiwan, despite the fact we're always in this weird, squirrely back and forth of would we not? Our policy kind of shifts back and forth on that one. They just kind of never really try us. But yeah, I don't think that should be the case. But, let's pop over to this board of peace. Let's check in on that. What's going on? Apparently, this is Alan Mosley's writing on it. Let's read a couple of paragraphs of his piece here. Kind of check in on the board of peace. He's saying a fractious global debate over the newly proposed Gaza board of peace has intensified as countries publicly declare whether they will participate in a U.S.-led body that its proponents say could oversee Gaza's post-war reconstruction and potentially broader conflict resolution. European powers have split sharply over involvement. Middle Eastern governments are lining up to join, and Prime Minister Netanyahu has reversed an earlier refusal to participate, agreeing to take Israel's seat. So ironic. French, Scandinavian, and other Western European governments have been among the most vocal in declining invitations, citing concerns about the board's mandate, structure, and potential to undercut established international institutions. France, Norway, Sweden, and Slovenia have announced they will not join this time, rejecting both the board's expanded ambition beyond Gaza and the requirement articulated in draft terms shared with invited nations to contribute roughly $1 billion for permanent membership status. Paris' refusal stems in part from worries that the board as envisioned would duplicate or weaken the United Nations roles on peace and reconstruction. Some more to this idea I've said before of crazy 5D. I hope, I don't want this board of peace thing to, so when I say I don't want to, I guess I don't know. So I'm extremely beyond skeptical that the board of peace is anything that will lead towards a better world, and I would prefer it just not exist, I guess, generally speaking. Who knows? Maybe there's some outside way that, somehow everybody kumbayas, and through the power of friendship, they create Captain Planet, and they save the Gazans. I kind of doubt it, but I guess that could happen. But I do find it funny that if he does end up tacoing out of this, Trump always chickens out. That's the thing. Then taco, TACO, Trump always chickens out, for those who don't get that. Then if this does, say that gets to such a point where it bubbles up that it creates serious rifts in the UN, but then it still caves over, who knows? Maybe we'll be in some sort of positive overall situation after the fact, although at the same time we're kind of destroying our reputation on the diplomatic stage, which I guess ironically we're becoming more and more less reliant on diplomacy. So I don't know. It's a mixed bag. It's a mixed bag, But I do find it particularly funny, especially here's Jen and Eunice pointing out having Netanyahu as a senior position on Trump's board of peace is basically an Onion article. This is the world we live in. Really, this whole board of peace thing is like an Onion article. And then kind of to this point, and kind of why this is ridiculous. I know a lot of people will be like, "Oh, I don't get that." Well, Israel killed 11 people in Gaza recently, including children and journalists. This was on Wednesday. On Wednesday, they killed 11 people. There's supposed to be a ceasefire, so So these are the people were killed along with. There was a fourth person who was killed along with 3 journalists in an Israeli strike. So then an Israeli strike that hit 3 journalists and just some other person. They were working with an Egyptian air group when their car was hit by an Israeli bomb. And we've had reports of indiscriminate shooting. And there's also a separate attack on a family home in central Gaza. 3 people were killed, including a child and his father. A second child was shot and killed by Israeli soldiers while collecting firewood near Khan Yunis. So this is over 1,000 times violating this truce, this supposed ceasefire, which is a beyond parody name for this, is resulted in the killings of over 450 Palestinians. So, yeah. And then it's also right now they're dropping leaflets in Gaza ordering families to evacuate. First since the ceasefire. So it looks like things might be cranking back up. I wonder if it'll be right around the same time that we kick off things with Iran again. Then we also have Zelensky flouting about this this supposed security guarantees that they were getting, which there's been this back and forth. We've been reporting for, I don't know, probably damn near a month or so. This stuff, the supposed security guarantees, which are supposed to be kind of what, Article 5? Do I have the number right? Yeah, I think so. It's supposed to be like Article 5 security guarantees is what, the way that some figures have kind of framed them as being. And then we've heard conflicting reports about this being the case, not being the case. But Trump and Zelensky met in Davos on the sidelines of the WEF. Following the meeting, Zelensky said an agreement had been reached with the U.S. that would grant Ukraine security guarantees. So on Thursday, he told reporters the document on U.S. security guarantees had been completed. He noted that we need to sign the deal, which will come only after the war stops. So interesting. Zelensky also said that Trump had organized a trilateral meeting between Ukrainian, Russian, and American officials in the UAE that will take place on Friday. Moscow has not stated if it plans to send representatives to the Emirates. Trump said the meeting with Zelensky was very good, but did not provide details on what the leaders discussed. After the meeting, Ukrainian official told Axios, it was one of the best meetings they've had. Trump was in a good mood. So hopefully they don't end up giving these security guarantees, especially if they're not what they were framing them as being in the past, almost essentially akin to an Article 5, kind of like what we gave to Qatar recently, which was essentially basically an Article 5 security guarantee without actually being one. So I know we'll see. But supposedly they're talking about this war boiling over, but at the same time we have French forces boarding Russian oil tankers in the Mediterranean, so it's not a very good sign for this international war, although it is the Europeans that are seeming to try to keep pushing this going. So President Emmanuel Macron announced that French forces boarded an oil tanker carrying Russian oil. So this morning, the French Navy boarded an oil tanker coming from Russia, subject to international sanctions and suspected of flying a false flag. The operation was conducted in the high seas in the Mediterranean with support of several of our allies. He said that the vessel Grinch was part of the Russian shadow fleet of oil tankers. The French leader claimed the seizure occurred in accordance with the UN Convention on the Law of the Sea. However, the Security Council has not adopted sanctions on Russian oil, and the UN opposes unilateral cohesive economic measures. In an article for Responsible Statecraft earlier this month, Anatol Levin, director of the Eurasia program, warned that seizing Russian ships in the high seas could be viewed as an act of war. He explained that Moscow could retaliate by seizing European cargo ships. Zelensky praised Macron, of course, says, "Thank you, France. Thank you, Macron. This is exactly the kind of resolve needed to ensure that Russian oil no longer finances Russia war. Russian tankers operating near European shores must be stopped." So, not the greatest sign. Russia said it's aware of France's seizure of the ship, but did not provide a comment on the matter. France seizing a Russian ship follows the U.S. boarding 7 tankers suspected of carrying Venezuelan oil. One of those vessels was Russian flagged. On Thursday, Maria Zakharova, the foreign ministry spokeswoman, said that it was bewilderment and disappointment that the U.S. has not released the crew of the tanker. All right, let's get into the chat, say some more good mornings, and then we'll get into the main topic of the day, these small hat struggle sessions. So let's check in on you guys, see what you guys got to say. Kamala says apparently Ben Avery got kicked off of YouTube. That's nuts. I wonder what for. I don't know a ton about him. I know he has I think I've watched a couple of them. He is pretty funny. I know is he the guy who does a Lemon Party show or something? I think I've watched maybe a couple clips here and there. They're hilarious. I think he used to work for Tim Dillon or something, but he's pretty base from what little bit I've seen him. Pretty base, pretty funny. So I hope he gets back on. I mean, I don't know the circumstances there. I'd be interested to hear more. Who else we got? Oh, on the Mel thing, on Mel Gibson saying there was an audio recording of it with Mel. See, I could have swore it was. We'll have to play that one these days if we can find it. Let me see who else we got. Good morning, John Black. Good to see you here. Good to see you. Ooh, we got I can see already we have a super chat in there. Yeah, I like money. We'll get into that in a minute. Who else we got in here? And all you guys having these chats back and forth with each other. Good morning, Real John Doe. Here's a new name in the chat. That's not just you guys talking amongst yourselves. John Black says, I've missed you, heterosexually challenged Negroids. TMD, live chatters for life. Jose, Mrs. Dave DeCamp. I do. These are very different foreign policy sections these days. It's much more accordance, and I guess I feel like it was more refined because I would listen to Dave, and then I would be able to then kind of like then give my take. I don't know. It's much more, I guess, dump-like now. We're figuring out on the go. And somehow I missed, I missed this. It says Water Tower Gang is a human right, not from John Black, so I appreciate that. Thank you. I missed that super chat before. All right, let's get into the struggle sesh stuff. Let's check in on the top G, Andrew Tate, being a real-ass bitch. So let's check out this a little bit. Apparently he's been on an apology tour. So let's check out this clip. I don't have it up. Give me a second.
I didn't play it. I didn't ask him to play it. I didn't dance. I didn't sing. In fact, the only time you see me on there is me storming out of the bus, saying this is ridiculous and leaving. But I know why it was played. It was played because of this. It was played because it gets traction in a world where everybody is bored of everything all of the time. And that's why these young people are encouraged constantly to try and do the most shocking thing possible. You see this not just with this song, you see this on all their streams. They're running people over and doing retarded shit constantly. So I'm not here to make excuses for myself. I'm not here to say it wasn't me. I'm not here to, blame someone else. But it is kind of ridiculous. It does feel a bit unfair that I'm standing in a nightclub. A song comes on that I did not request. A song comes on that I do not dance to. I do not repeat the lyrics to. I just stand there, and then they want to attribute somehow the song playing to me and it all being my fault.
Okay, what he's talking about here, for those who aren't aware, we covered this, I believe, a few days ago or something. The whole club scene. We didn't give a whole bunch of commentary, but they played Nigga Heil Hitler, and I didn't even think really anything of it. I mean, I was kind of a little bit surprised they were, able to get it in a Miami nightclub. But apparently they got all uppity about it. It's funny enough, I guess to add to it, this is actually, I showed you guys the mayor the other day too. You guys might be able to visualize the mayor that got all upset about this. Apparently he got all uppity about it. I guess had some words with these people. So we had this whole crew. We have like Tristan Tate and his brother, or whoever the fuck. Wait, no, his brother is Tristan. I always mix these two up. Tristan, Andrew. And they had some other fucking dork that they had just that was their like tag along that was a fucking idiot. Had Nick Fuentes, Myron Gaines, I think Clavicular. I think those were the guys there. They were all out partying together. Oh, and Sneeko too. And so they were playing. And one of the big things is they were playing on the bus. I believe on the bus, on their little party bus at one point. I believe they had Nigga Heil Hitler. And then when they got in the club, they're playing it as well. And this became a whole thing. Apparently the mayor was calling Adam Slosnick, or whatever the fuck his name is, the PBDGA,
I know why
the PBD Jew. Let me see. I'm trying to find a picture of him so I can show you. This guy right here. This guy right here next to Andrew Tate here. Apparently, like the mayor called them all upset or whatever. I don't know the specifics of it, but it became this big struggle session. That, oh my God, they're doing this awful thing, which. I mean, I would be like, I could totally get like a nightclub owner kicking someone out over that, or firing a DJ or whatever. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm all about, do whatever, but I also get like if you're trying to run a business and you're like, especially one that, frequents a ton of people. I mean, I guess it depends on the nightclub, the vibe of it. If you're like, this is going to scare off the hoes, then like, no, I'm trying to make money here. So I get like from that perspective, but this become this whole thing of like, now we have these influencers that are being, these live struggle sessions, and oh my God, who fucking cares? Who fucking cares? But yes, there was this whole whisper campaign behind the scenes. Apparently Adam was talking to the mayor, and now you have Andrew Tate going around like apologizing for this shit. Now we'll give you a little rundown, I guess, on some of the people. I don't know how Myron was. Actually, no, I think Myron basically kind of gave like a fuck you. Nick gave a fuck you because apparently I guess these guys now aren't allowed to go to Miami. I don't really know. I don't even know how the fuck that works. The mayor's able to do that, but that's what everybody's saying. They're banned from or shunned maybe from Miami nightlife or Miami generally. So Sneeko did not cave. So which is actually, if anything, he was the one I probably would have assumed would have. Apparently Andrew caved. I don't know whether his brother Tristan or even did, but anyways, this guy's all getting shit. Now he's on this apology tour. It's just weird. It's weird. It's why are they? I mean, I've seen some other clips of this. Let me see. Maybe let's check out the replies. If there's anything more on this, because it is it is nuts. Let's see maybe there's any other clips in the replies of these guys, because yeah, he went on PBD and it was just this weird long struggle session. I didn't watch the whole episode. I've seen a bunch of different clips. But yeah, it's wild. So yes, we have him apologizing for the fact that they were playing Nigga Heil Hitler on in a nightclub. So yes, and now he's all concerned about rising anti-Semitism, seemingly kind of throwing his friends on the bus, kind of riding this weird line, being a little bit of a, let's be real, a little bit of a bitch. But at the same time, we have Miss Rachel coming under fire as well. For, I guess, apparently liking some anti-Semitic Instagram comments. So we're bringing back the struggle sessions. Let's see what Miss Rachel said. Here's funny enough, here's a Rabbi Poopko saying, is this a real guy? What the fuck? Oh, wow. That is a real human being. Okay, let's go back. That's mean of me. But anyways, here's him sharing, why do Target, Walmart, and Kohl's still carry her products? It's funny. The original, what I just brought up here was Jake Shields saying this is exactly why so many people hate them. And he's sharing this article from the Hollywood Reporter saying Miss Rachel comes under fire for liking anti-Semitic Instagram comment. Let's check it out. I totally forgot to. I hope this isn't paywall because I totally forgot to check. Okay, cool. Let's check this out. So let's see what is she under fire for? What exactly did Miss Rachel say that was so bad? Which Miss Rachel, I do gotta comment. It makes sense. I totally get like a Miss Rachel it would be getting flack because she's kind of like this sweet, womanly energy. They're much more subject to these struggle sessions. But then Andrew Tate is just absolutely pathetic. Like, come on, top G my ass, you little bitch. Like, it's just the gayest thing ever. But anyways. But this makes more sense. I'm actually far more sympathetic, actually, for this. Because, I mean, I think she should obviously be based and be like, fuck you. But, you know, she's a lady. She's not going to. But let's read this a little bit. It says, children's entertainer Rachel Acurso. That's a fun last name. I like that. Known to millions of families as Miss Rachel, is facing backlash after screenshots circulate online appearing to show her Instagram account liking an explicitly anti-Semitic comment that read, "Free America from the Jews." Can you see likes on Instagram? The comment appeared beneath a now... Oh, come on. Go away, ad. The comment appeared beneath a now deleted Instagram post shared by Acurso 44 that read, "Free Palestine, Free Sudan, Free Congo, Free Iran," accompanied by each country's national flag, according to the New York Post. Screenshots on the comment and the apparent like were widely shared on X and other platforms, prompting swift condemnations from Jewish advocacy groups and calls for accountability from parents and educators who follow Acurso's work. And this is funny. This reminds me, if you guys recall, what started Candace's dissent. And I think what they even reference as one of the reasons why they fired her from the Daily Wire is she liked something. What was it? It was one of those blood libel type things, like one of the claims of drinking Christian blood or something, and she liked one of them, and that's what she got shit for liking a thing. Maybe I recall, but I don't know. I guess I'm just imagining now. It is funny how that kind of started all off with Candace, and now here we are where she's going fucking completely ape shit, chimping out over every little thing. I think she's wandering into dangerous territory. It would be pretty humorous if Miss Rachel went down a similar path. I'd like to see how that plays out for a children's show influencer. Hey kids, have you guys heard about the exsanguination of Thomas the 12th in ancient Spain? Or what? I don't know, I'm just made up those ones, but you know what I mean. That would be pretty fun if that's how things go. Fine, keep doing that. See what you guys get. If you guys want Miss Rachel laying down the historical accounts of like what satanic ritual abuse by Jews for young Christian people, then maybe just keep going, because this is the path you're taking. You know what? Whatever. I want to have a kid again sometime, and I'd love it if I have children's content ready for them. Teaches them the real world and how things go. That's a joke. I know I'm monetized. Just YouTube. Wink, wink. Screenshots of the comment and the apparent like. I already read that. Let's see what else we got. An emotional video statement posted to Instagram. Oh, that's sad. Let's check this out. Let's see if we can. Let's watch this. Let's watch. Fuck off. Okay, let's play this.
So I thought I deleted a comment and I accidentally hit like and hide. I don't know how or why. I've accidentally liked comments before. It happens. Like, I'm a human who makes mistakes. I would never agree with an anti-Semitic thing like the comment. We have Jewish family. A lot of my friends are Jewish. I delete anti-Semitic comments. I have proof because yesterday somebody messaged me. There was a comment that said that. So I said, yes, I saw that and I deleted it because that's what I thought happened. And then I said, I hate anti-Semitism. And so the internet, I guess, has picked it up, believing that that's what happened. I feel like we can't be human anymore online. Like, we can't. And I'm so sorry for the confusion it caused. I'm so sorry if anyone thought that I would ever agree with something horrible and anti-Semitic like that. I don't want to say that it is okay to be human and it's okay to make mistakes. And I'm old, so I am not as good with touching things online, I guess. I have liked things by accident before it's happened, and I've been like, oh my gosh, let me unlike that. I can't believe I accidentally liked that. Like, it's happened to me before, and my advocacy is wonderful and beautiful, and I'm so proud of it, and there's nothing wrong with it, and it shouldn't be controversial to say how kids deserve to be treated. Like, everyone who knows me knows that I would never like that. The message shows that I said I deleted that. That's what I thought happened. That was yesterday. My husband just came in here and said, look what I found that people are posting. And I was like, oh my God, I thought I deleted that.
Okay, well, I don't know. I feel like I shouldn't laugh because I do kind of feel a little bit bad for it, but it is, I don't know, this would be one of those things if my wife came to me and was like, oh my God, I'd just be laughing. Like, what are you freaking out about? Okay, I mean, I kind of feel a little bit bad for her because she's getting all worked up into a tizzy over, I don't know, just grow a pair and go, oops. What now, bitch? Although, I mean, she is, I don't know what her brand deals look like and yada yada, or how her business is structured. So, because I know she does run a children's show. I'm assuming she has ads and I don't know, she has merchandise or whatever. So I can see why you'd be concerned about all that. But, as opposed to like the other side, I mean, whatever. This crying, I mean, I don't know, whatever. I get ready. Miss Rachel, go hard, okay? Go hard. Start digging in deep into the past, questioning things. Don't take everything at face value. They say, oh, blood libel. Okay, it's wink, wink, joking, guys, joking. Anyways, let me see what else we got. Apparently, she has 4.8 million Instagram followers. That's nuts. 18.6 million YouTube subs. So, yeah, I mean, it seems reasonable enough to me, though. I mean, not that I really even care whether she liked it or not, but I actually really very much doubt that she intentionally liked something like that, because she does kind of seem like that kind of wholesome goofball, that she wouldn't be about that sort of stuff. She's not like us. But, hey, I hope Miss Rachel calms down. Just stand your ground. Don't stop all this apologizing nonsense. I mean, you can be like, obviously admit, like, this is what I meant to do. Like, if you're upset about it, sorry, oops. But, like, this whole, like, prostration, don't do that. This just makes things worse. Then you have people like me doing the whole Andrew Tate thing's a bitch. Just have some balls. Moving on to the next thing. Apparently they're advancing a bill here in Florida to ban the term West Bank in state government and public school materials, requiring the territory to be referred to as Judea and Samaria instead. This bill regulates press releases, educational materials, state-funded documents. This is state policing language. This would take effect in July 1st, 2026. So now here in Florida, any state-related things they will be referring to the West Bank as Judea and Sumeria, as opposed to the West Bank as what they've been called for like ever, basically my life. And then this seems relevant to this topic at hand. I guess apparently the defense attorneys for what's his name? What is his name? Satif or a Asif merchant? The Iranian supposed assassination plot. This is where they get the idea that a lot of these establishment folks run with, that Iran may, they kind of hint, kind of a little nudge, like, ooh, maybe Iran had something to do with this when it comes to any of the assassination stuff. This is the very, very weak ground upon which they build on. Asif Merchant's case, which we still know very, very little about, but what little we do know looks crazy suspicious. We talked about this the other day, that apparently that the DOJ has disclosed that it will introduce evidence in the Iranian assassination plot that was obtained from a foreign government, but they want to hide the identity of the government. Who is that government? I wonder. Well, apparently the defense attorneys are anti-Semitic because they think that it could be. Let's read the thing itself. Actually, it says right here: the court should permit inquiry into the provenance of the government's electronic evidence. The court should deny point 9 of the government's motion, which seeks an order precluding the defendant from inquiring into how the government obtained an Apple iPhone reportedly belonging to a relative of Mr. Merchant, for reasons similar to the reasons it should deny the government's motion to authenticate cell phone extractions via certification. According to the government, a foreign government provided prosecutors with that device, or possibly with a clone of that device, or with an electronic database purporting to be a forensic image of that device. But the government has not identified the foreign country in question to the defense and has not otherwise explained the provenance of the iPhone or its purported contents. Notably, many foreign governments are known to use surveillance software packages such as Pegasus. Now, do you guys know what Pegasus is? That is a little surveillance software package from the old Israel. They're also mentioned Phantom and Graphite, which I'm not as familiar with those ones. These software packages are capable of modifying the contents of electronic devices in real time without the knowledge of the persons using those devices, and the U.S. government has previously declined to confirm whether it employs such software against persons located overseas, though it denies using such software domestically against citizens. So this is the defense basically straight up saying, that it could be Israel, could be a little Israel, could be some Israeli spyware. They could have but I guess they're just anti-Semitic. Let's pop over to kind of more anti-Semitism. I guess we're looking into someone getting deported over anti-Semitism. Mahmoud Khalil, apparently now he's set to be deported to Algeria again. I think we covered this recently. Apparently there was a judge that essentially appealed. I don't know the exact specific legal mumbo jumbo here, but essentially there was a while ago, there was a ruling where they go, fuck you, because remember there's this whole Mahmoud Khalil thing a while ago. He was a student, he got his visa revoked, or not visa, he had a green card actually, I think. So he got his green card revoked and he was set to get deported, went through a legal battle, they were able to get it stopped. Well, apparently then there was further legal issues. They go, just kidding, we're nixing that, and now you're getting deported again. And now that's where we're at. So this man that already missed the birth of his child due to all this nonsense before, he has a wife and a kid here, but yet because he dares say mean things about Israel, we got to kick him out. So Trump administration has been battling to deport this 31-year-old ever since he became one of the first to be rounded up during the government's crackdown on anti-Israel campus protests. Khalil, who the government claims is a Hamas supporter, spent 3 months in a Louisiana immigration jail, missing the birth of his first child. Feds justified his arrest under a rarely used statute that allows for non-citizens to be kicked out of if their beliefs are deemed to pose a threat to U.S. foreign policy interests. Which seems pretty relevant with all this ICE stuff we got going on. Are we going to start? I know we're going to. Now they're talking about we're going to target the violent criminals, but I put a little doubt on that. I have a little struggle to believe that it might start being violence, or if you say mean things about Jews. In June, a federal judge in New Jersey ordered that Khalil be cut loose after ruling the justification would likely be declared unconstitutional. The White House scored a major win last week when a federal appeals court overturned the ruling ordering his release from the ICE facility. The 3-judge panel found his case should have been allowed to work its way through the immigration court system before Khalil could mount a legal challenge. Immediately after the ruling, McLaughlin urged Khalil to self-deport now before he's arrested, deported, and never given a chance to return. It wasn't immediately clear when the feds would attempt to detain Khalil. Khalil, who has dismissed the allegations against him as baseless and ridiculous, insists the saga is a direct consequence of exercising my right to free speech as I advocate for a free Palestine and end to the genocide in Gaza. So, he's set to go deploy again. Hopefully, something will come of this and change. This does seem like quite the injustice to me. But let's pop in the chat, check in with all you guys, say some more good mornings, and then we'll get into the next segment, into Warrantless ICE. Let me see what else we got in here. Good morning, Stall. Good morning. Good morning, Gautis. Good to see you. Everyone's calling Andrew Tate a bitch in the chat. Love to see it. Common Mama says, I'd love to see them grow up there and do that shit in Atlanta. I don't know. Do you think it'd not fly in Atlanta? I don't know. Maybe it would. They might have fun with it. Why would they care? I don't know. They seem like they'd be cool. Let me see. Good morning, DWS says breakfast, and I don't know what all those emojis are, but I'm assuming you're saying you're having breakfast in bed. That sounds nice. What else we got in here? Anything else? Gautis says you can't stand Miss Rachel. I like her much more now. Oh yeah, see, lean into it. Yeah. You can't wait for the Miss Rachel episode on Leo Frank. Yeah, for real. Keep it up, Jays. Keep going to town. Keep giving her shit. I want to see it. Let's do it. She hates anti-Semitism. Gay as fuck. I hate her again. Good morning, Wambaba. Good morning. Oh, yeah, Marty McFly. Did you guys see the Australian handicap girl charged with anti-Semitism for a butt dial? Can't make it up. Yeah, I saw that. That was wild. I mean, I haven't looked into the details of it. It seems almost unbelievable, but it is Australia, so I guess it checks out. Good morning, aggressively agreeing, saying the thing that victimizes Jays the most are words. Yep. Good morning, Martin Mac. I don't know if is this you first popping in here. Let me see. Martin Mac saying supposedly after Jimmy Dore spoke at the UN, they hacked his phone with Pegasus. Hey, if you're on Twitter and if you can find some sauce on that, I'd love to check that out. I never heard that one. All right, let's get into the ICE stuff. Let's pop in. Let's check in there. I wish I had that clip. Actually, give me 1 second. Let me see if I can find Trump on. I could have swore I bookmarked it, but I guess I didn't. Let's see if I want to find Trump on ICE right now because there's some stuff Trump said about the ICE stuff that I want to make sure I share with you guys. Actually, let's play this one of these videos first though while I look for it because I do have a couple of videos for you. Give me a second. All right, this is only 30 seconds. All right. Apparently there was a speedway in Minneapolis that kicked out these fucking thugs. ICE, Bovino, this goofball, so let's play this clip real quick so you can see what's going on. Apparently, the guy, I don't know if it's the manager, but whoever's running the store that day told him to fuck off and get out. And cheers, brother.
Do you work here? Do you work here? Yeah. You guys kicked him out? Yeah. What's your opinion on it? Why'd you kick him out? Because I wanted to. Okay. We don't support ICE, and nobody here does. Neither do I. And so he's not allowed service here. Nope. We don't support ICE. Commander Bovino, is it legal to deny service to federal agents?
If it is, I personally don't care.
If it is, I don't care. Pretty based. All right, I was trying to find that clip if I could find, but apparently Trump did say recently that he's like, I told these guys to calm down, yada yada, kind of like, hey, we just want to go after the violent criminals. So now that's the angle they're going after now. We're going after the violent criminals, which is kind of what he said before, but I don't know. I'm not kind of find it hard to believe when some of the shit we're about to go in here in a minute, but kind of sticking around with the goofy stuff here. Actually, let's go back over this one. I wanted to point out something that was funny about this. Let's go back to this store owner, or not owner, but the guy, I'm assuming just the guy working that day, kicking him out. Apparently, what I wanted to point out that was funny about this is Nick Sorter tweeting this. He's the one, I guess, actually it's Cam Higbee was the one who was videotaping it. So there's these like handful of these like influencer guys that are kind of very Team Trump or whatever the fuck you want to call it. They're just, I don't know, they kind of suck. I mean, there's some good people over there that are documenting this stuff, like Ford Fisher, but the Sorters, the Cam Higbees, they're just slop. But it was him that was recording this, and then Sorter then took it and is tweeting about it. He's actually, you would think, like, I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm biased here because of the kind of where I fell on this issue, but I see this, I'm like, fuck yeah. But I just find it so gay. It's just that this guy is like basically posting a cell phone. He's literally here. What he does here is like, because I'll read it to you guys. It says, just in, a speedway near Minneapolis just kicked out Commander Bavino and his crew as they went in for snacks. Hey, Speedway, is it your policy to deny service to federal law enforcement officers? You're going to end up getting Bud Lighted. Fix this. And I don't know if you guys caught at the end of the video, too. They even asked, I guess Cam asked, is it illegal? And then to do this and, to kind of deny service to these police officers, or not police officers, these federal police. And they didn't answer because I think they probably know full well that no. I mean, it's pretty clear that, yeah, you're not supposed to, like if it's private property, and they tell them to fuck off, you got to get out. Like, if I go into a convenience store and if I'm lurking around, or if they just don't like my fucking face, I mean, yeah, there's, like, civil rights laws out there that, like, I don't agree with. Like, let's say they're like, they told me explicitly it was because I was white or something. Then, yeah, I might have some sort of legal case. But aside from that, like, pretty much, unless it's some sort of, like, civil rights thing, unless they add being a cop into the Civil Rights Act or something, I don't think there's any legal ground you have to stand on here. So he is leaning. He even said the Bud Lighted. You're going to get Bud Lighted. The idea that, like, oh, we're gonna tell everybody, and everyone's gonna boycott Speedway. Yeah, I'm not boycotting Speedway. Nobody's boycotting Speedway. Nobody. Like, I really feel like. I mean, I know there's some of you guys in the chat who actually also are very much, pro, maybe hoorah. Maybe there might even be some of you are like, hell yeah, I voted for this. I don't know if I buy that completely with my audience, but a lot of you might be like, well, some of this is an unfortunate product of what must be done, yada yada yada. I really doubt even the most hardcore people in my audience. Let me know in the chat. Would any of you actually really go out of your way to boycott Speedway because they have maybe some of their localities are kicking out federal law enforcement? Even if you don't, I mean, I don't know. This instills patriotic feelings in me. I go, this is fucking dope. Like, I wish they would do this to normal cops. Get the fuck out, loser. Fuck off. Like, I don't know. I wish they did to military people too. I wish they did to every government employee. Like, you come in a government uniform, get the fuck out. I mean, like, may not be great for business, but I think it's beautiful. All right, let's keep moving. Speaking about more funny stuff, here is Homeland Security apparently tweeting about that they can't pee. So it said today, Border Patrol agents who were in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area as part of a targeted enforcement operation were repeatedly harassed and blocked by hostile crowds while simply trying to take bathroom breaks. So these guys struggle to even go take a pee. I think it's pretty clear that they do not have the consent of the governed. And if you're someone who at all wants to believe in state rights, I don't know how you could get anything more clear than this. I mean, I don't know. I guess then the cope then becomes, oh, these are paid agitators, paid protesters. Sure. I don't know. I mean, it seems to be pretty clear to me. The local people don't like them. It's even well known. Most conservatives will admit this is like this is a liberal area. So it's like, yeah, they don't like this. They don't want this. So why are you forcing this upon them? But anyways, at each gas station where the agents stopped to use the restroom, groups of agitators appeared, yelled at them, stalked them, and even tried to prevent law enforcement vehicles from leaving, creating unsafe conditions. At one stop, individuals in the crowd threw food at the agents. Don't do that. Don't do that, people. Not cool. I mean, it's kind of funny, but don't do it. At their final gas station stop, someone spit on an agent. Don't do that either. They will beat the fuck out of you. Do not do that. When an agent moved to detain this person who spit on him, the crowd tackled and attacked the agents while surrounding him. All right, that's kind of base. Not going to lie. As long as he didn't get hurt, whatever. That's a little base. But hey, we're getting up towards some sort of Boston Tea Party moment. Things are looking things are looking a little wild. And we're getting to a crazy boiling point. Apparently, the Trump administration just greenlit warrantless home invasions. And now the cope from them is, oh, well, no, you still need warrants. They just need an administrative warrant or whatever, which we'll get a little bit into that here in a minute. Like, oh, no, there's still warrants. And even then, we're only doing it in this specific situation, despite the fact that apparently, what I think we're about to read in here, that like it's not only applicable for that situation. They're just kind of saying, but trust me, we'll only use it for this situation. The Associated Press obtained a leaked ICE memo ordering agents they can force entry into homes using only an internal ICE warrant of removal, Form I-205, even without a judge's warrant. So this is what I'm talking about when it's different types of warrants. He's calling it they're calling them an administrative warrant as opposed to there's judicial warrants, I guess. Judicial warrants, judicial judge, whatever, kind of a judge has to sign it. It actually has to go through some sort of fucking process. Now it's just literally in the field. The fucking ICE agent can paper whip some bullshit. Probably could even do it after the fact. You probably, as if that really makes a difference that they have to stop and take 2 minutes to fill out a form. And let's be real, they'd probably or be just as willing to fucking lie on the time and stuff and go, oh, we filled it out beforehand. But yeah, wild stuff. Let's read this. Let's read this. This is very concerning stuff. If you aren't concerned about this shit, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I don't know. You just struggle with second, third, fourth, fifth order thinking. Like, holy shit. So on January 20th, 2025, Trump issued Executive Order 14159, protecting the American people against invasion, directing the Secretary of Homeland Security to ensure the successful enforcement of final orders of removal, something. Essential removal of aliens subject to final orders of removal is the ability to locate and arrest them. To this end, certain supervisory immigration officers within both enforcement and removal operations and Homeland Security investigations are authorized to issue an administrative warrant, Form I-205, warrant of removal for the arrest of an alien with a final order of removal. So, okay. So they're saying with a final order of removal. So I guess it did say in there that it has to have a final order of removal. Because I'd seen some people reporting that it was like that wasn't required. But I don't know, we need maybe a Tyler or somebody to show to read this stuff and be like, does this mean that's the only time in which they can do it? Because I've heard some people say otherwise, that there's other wording elsewhere that kind of implies that they did kind of give lip service in one spot to that, being a final order removal, but somewhere else there's it implies they don't really need it. But either way, although the U.S. Department of Homeland Security has not historically relied on administrative warrants alone to arrest aliens subject to final orders of removal in their place of residence, the DHS Office of the General Counsel has recently determined the U.S. Constitution, the Immigration and Nationality Act, and the immigration regulations do not prohibit relying on administrative warrants for this so that's what I'm talking. Yes. Okay. So it does say in the first paragraph. So there you go. That's what I'm talking about. In the first paragraph, it goes, it says you're allowed to do this for the arrest of an alien with a final order of removal, yada, yada, yada. You're authorized to do that you are authorized to issue an administrative warrant for the arrest of an alien with a final order of removal. But then there, in the second paragraph later, it then says, oh, well, we relooked the Constitution and it doesn't prohibit relying on it for this purpose. So, I don't know. It's kind of, I think I can kind of see what someone's getting at, where perhaps what they're saying is yeah, we're going to only use it for this, but if you read it, accordingly, in light of this legal determination, ICE immigration officers may arrest and detain aliens subject to a final order of removal issued by an immigration judge, the Board of Immigration Appeals, or a U.S. I don't know, it cuts off there. Let's check out this other one. Anonymous whistleblower disclosure, January 7th, 2026, says, secretive DHS memo authorizes ICE to illegally enter homes without a judicial warrant in violation of the Fourth Amendment. One, whistleblower aid represents two anonymous United States government officials disclosing a secretive and seemingly unconstitutional policy directive. This policy directive authorizes ICE agents to enter homes and residences without consent in order to conduct arrests and removals without a warrant issued by a federal judge. Given that we are keeping the whistleblower's identities anonymous, even from oversight investigators, our objective... Okay, yada, yada, yada. This is just about the... Okay, they're just saying there was some whistleblower here. That's all that form is. All right. Okie dokie. Well, that's concerning. Kind of to my point, this could end in violence. Let's check and see what J.D. Vance has to say about all this. Our Vice President Queen. Let's check him out.
The Washington Post reported today that an ICE memo allows agents to enter people's houses without a judge's warrant. What do you say to people who are concerned about this violating the Constitution, and how much is this tactic being used?
Yeah, so I saw that story, and the story is like so much that I read in the mainstream media, it's missing a whole lot of context, and when you appreciate the context, it makes sense. No one is saying, look, there are exceptions. For example, a crazy exception, if somebody is fired at from inside a house, they don't need a warrant to go inside that person's house. There are very narrow exceptions to the warrant requirement where law enforcement officers don't need a warrant if, for example, they're an imminent threat of their lives. But what we've said and what ICE has proposed, what the Department of Homeland Security really has proposed in the Department of Justice, is that we can get administrative warrants to enforce administrative immigration law. Now, it's possible, I guess, that the courts will say no, and of course, if the courts say no, we would follow that law, but nobody is talking about doing immigration enforcement without a warrant. We're talking about different types of warrants that exist in our system. Typically what happens, not always, but typically in the immigration system, those are handled by administrative law judges. So we're talking about getting warrants from those administrative law judges, and then of course, with other cases, you get judges, or you get warrants from a judge. That's very consistent with the practice of American law. I'm sure we'll weigh in on that, but we're never going to enter somebody's house without some kind of a warrant, unless, of course, somebody's firing on an officer or they have to do something in order to protect themselves.
All right, let's check in. Justin Amash had some thoughts about this. He says, J.D. Vance, isn't this stupid? So what he's doing here is deliberate evil. You don't just need some kind of warrant to enter a home. You need a warrant from the judiciary. He knows this. He knows they're breaking the law when they enter a home with an administrative warrant. He uses the phrase administrative law judges to mislead. An administrative warrant comes from DHS. They are writing their own warrants, which makes them no more valid under the Fourth Amendment than if a random person wrote on a piece of paper, I can enter your house. So a little concerning. I mean, I would love to get some more legal input somewhere. If maybe, I mean, while obviously I don't like this slipping into the full-on, we don't need warrants anywhere. I mean, maybe I could hear some argument. I mean, obviously I wouldn't support this, but I would like to at least hear like, hey, is this a slippery slope? Is this going to end up, does this give the precedent away? I'd be interested to hear more. All right, let's pop in the chat, and then we'll get into the final segment of the day, get into some Kirk craziness, some of that wild type of shit. Let's pop into chat, say hello. We'll see. And I mean, obviously, I'm not going through what everybody says here. I'm just kind of skimming through chat, seeing if I find anything interesting, anything relevant, anybody new in here to say good morning to. If you want to cut through that noise, you can drop a super chat. Comment Mama says, is Pegasus the same as Promise? No, Promise, from my understanding, Uncle Ted, sound off in the chat if you're here. Promise, from my understanding, was like a data, like a, how do I put this? Like a, almost like the building blocks of like a Google databases. Yeah, like the idea that you could like have keywords and whatever. It's like a, I don't know how to explain it. I'm too tech retarded to explain it. But Pegasus is more like it will jack your shit. It can fuck with you. Like, it's far more sophisticated. It's like, I think there's some sort of weird specific, like how they got to use it to get to work. Like, I think it's got to be like in the vicinity of like your phone or your device or something. I don't know. There's people who know more about this, but yeah, these from my understanding, they're very different things. Eric Petty Fishing says casually admitting to putting CP on your electronics. Did I miss something where they said that? Or maybe you're responding to something earlier. They didn't, to be fair, if it's what I was talking about earlier at the beginning of the show, they didn't actually like admit to it. They were just saying that they blackmail influencers. So like, I mean, that could just be like them finding CP on somebody's computer or something. So, I mean, it's me that's being a little bit bad faith and being like, let's be real. They're probably putting CP on computers because how the fuck are you going to really prove otherwise? I mean, I don't know. Maybe there's some tech nerds out there who can find other ways to be like, oh, this is how you know when it was or whatever. But good morning, though, to you, Eric Petty. Good to see you in the chat. Let me see what else we got. Evan says, I didn't peg you for open borders. Well, I mean, no, I'd probably take a little bit. I think open borders is kind of akin to saying like isolationists. I just don't really advocate for immigration enforcement. I don't know. I mean, I've talked about this a lot recently. I was pretty apathetic, not apathetic, more like agnostic. I understood both sides of the argument. And I got to say, this first year of Trump, I just feel like if you've been paying attention, especially the minutia, you're like, this is a perfect example of in real time how these sorts of, how this plays. The American people say, we want immigration enforcement. We want mass deportations. And this guy comes in with the consent of the governed, with, the mandate from the people is what they always say. Like he was won like every swing vote. Like Trump won pretty resoundingly. Like it's pretty clear what people wanted. So to me, this is about as clear of an example of like, how would this work out if we have the people asking for immigration enforcement? You can say, I would like for X thing to happen, but this is a very different thing than what happens when a populace demands of their government to do something. What actually ends up happening? Do you get the exact sort of immigration enforcement you're asking for? I think if you're being honest and you're looking around you and looking at how these things are playing out, it's very much a boiling frog thing, and people are going, I voted for this, and you're like, did you? Is this really what you wanted? Did you really want fucking speakers and college students getting visas revoked and kicked out for saying bad things about Israel? Is this the sort of thing? Did you really want fucking people going door to door in Minneapolis? Like, I really feel like, do you really want the American people souring? If you look at any polls right now, people are so against this. Like, yeah, they were a lot of them the same people who were saying, oh, I want some immigration enforcement before, but that's what they asked for, and what they got were very different things. And what the people got, there's a lot of people out there that are very sour to this stuff. So, ironically too, it's also like now you're going to fuck it up for any future generations, and it's almost certainly just going to get used against the right. Like, I don't know how anyone can't see all this stuff. Like, they're about to win the midterms, like, as well, frankly, and they deserve, like, and the right deserves to lose at this point. So, yeah, I mean, now am I somebody who's wanting these people to be unwell? No, I want the welfare state cut off. I want the warfare state cut off. I don't want them to have any reason to want to come over here. So, but yeah, at the same time, this idea that we're going to empower federal police to be kicking people out of the nation. Yeah, I'm just able to, I don't have a high time preference mode of thinking, and I'm able to go, oh shit, this is totally not going to work out well. This is totally just going to make the situation worse. So, all right, what's we got here? Tilla says, me when ICE deports a violent criminal based. Yeah, I don't mind that. If it's like legitimately, like that's like I've talked about the other day. Like, I don't think there's really, even like the most liberal of liberal people, I don't think they'd really be caring if they actually were, like, for one, not causing such issues for normal people. Like, they've been blocking all, like, I mean, you look at all these different videos, like, even just people trying to get to and from work, you hear all these, if they weren't doing all this shit, I mean, I see all the time sometimes where, like, I'll see cops when I'm driving around and I'll see cops at some person's house or this or that. It's never this thing. It's never whatever this fucking shit is. So, then he goes, me when someone denies a Fed service base. Me when the mainstream media gets caught lying about ICE kidnapping a child. Base. Me when the mainstream media gets caught lying about ICE kidnapping a child. Which one was that? I didn't hear about that one, I don't think. About ICE kidnapping a child. Oh, was that the one where they supposedly beat the shit out of the 17-year-old? I don't know how that would be lying. I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's a different story. There's too many stories to keep up. But yeah, you were pretty similar here, but Tilla, hell yeah, you seem to be okay. I can get with that. Gottis, as I rolled through downtown today, and a bunch of ICE protesters are lined up with anti-ICE signs. It's 18 degrees today. Yeah, I tell you, the day after Renee Good, the Renee Good thing, I was driving my wife to work, and there's like one overpass that's for like months now been these people with these no kings, whatever, fuck ICE signs, and I frankly never even noticed them. There was like a handful of them. After Renee Good, then there was a fuckload of them, and this was in a place where ICE has no real presence. And I can tell you, it was like I saw one sign that was like honk if you want to abolish ICE, or I forget exactly what it was. And I swear it was honk 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 honk. And this is in Florida. So I mean, I didn't. You know what? I get it. I totally get it. Let me see. Protesters drive me bananas even when I agree with them. Yes, protesting's gay, if that's not clear enough. But you should be allowed to be gay in this country. Let me see what else we got. Common Mama says sometimes you got to hawk Tua on that thing. Yeah, Bertardo says a lot of these ICE agents signed up for the job. Don't cry now, bitches. Yeah, exactly. Bugfight says, I don't hate migrants. I'm just aware the people facilitating illegal immigration are doing it to weaken resistance to totalitarianism. Hispanics are usually good people. Yeah, I mean, I definitely think, because people always do this conflating thing. Like, if you're like, oh, you're open board, oh, so you just want people to come over or whatever. Like, yeah, I do think it's also, two things can be true at the same time. I think it can be the response to people coming over here and then, like, essentially enabling federal police that how much we put an insane amount of money into ICE this year too. So that's all money that's coming out of your paycheck to what? Just to terrorize fucking liberals, which, I mean, in the abstract is pretty funny. I'm not going to lie, but like, also it's like, I'm not really willing to pay for it. If someone came to me and was like, hey, $20 or we'll take $100 from you a month and we're going to go around and call liberals faggots. Like, I mean, okay, it's a little funny, but I'm not paying $100 a month for this. Fuck you. Like, it's similar type thing. But yeah, I also at the same time, the idea of facilitating it or in any way enabling immigration, like if you're somehow rushing, I guess it depends on what you mean there. But I know a lot of the migrant caravans that were supposedly all the conspiracies that they were helping them, and even then, not even the conspiracies. There is straight up like where they're putting on social benefits, this, that, all those things. I want to cut off all welfare. So yeah, I mean. But yes, Hispanics are typically good people. Let me see. All right, I'm getting lost in the sauce. These chats. Free Alley. Did you hear about how ICE is targeting hospitals in Minnesota? I did not hear about that. Feel free to, if you're on Twitter, tag me in that. I have not heard about that. I'd be interested to see that. Bugfight says, I'm aware this enforcement is totalitarian, but what comes from flooding in immigrants is worse. I actually don't think I really particularly agree with you there. I think this is very obviously like for one, you didn't have to do this. No one said you had to do this. It doesn't have to be this way. As I've laid out before, it is like, oh, well, I know this is totalitarian. And you're like, and I know this is going to make things worse, but it's not one or the other. It's like as if it's the idea that like you're essentially you're furthering state power, knowing this is going to fuck you over. And because we want to get rid of immigrants, like, whereas as I pointed out before, you could actually, go the other route and try to pull away from state power, say reduce it. I actually think, ironically, reducing ICE, reducing everything, welfare, warfare, all these things would actually likely probably help with the immigration problem. So as opposed to making things worse all around for everybody. Or there's a path to like, yeah, maybe you may not get the immediate, like, we have to do something result. They're like, oh, I see people marching in the streets. Now everything's better. Or is moving it. Like, it's like what, the seen and the unseen? Like, yes, if we manage to somehow, reduce the welfare state, reduce warfare, you may not like see like an active, oh, I see people in the street doing a thing. It may feel like less of a thing is being done, but I think the result's probably actually going to be better in the end. Northside says you should be allowed to be gay. In doubt. Tilla says ICE arrested a criminal bailed on his own, like 4-something-year-old. Holy shit. Tried to give the child to the mother. Mother wouldn't take the kid. Dad wanted the kid to be with dad. Kid's in jail with dad now. Well, that's sad. Northside says Jose not wanting to call liberals faggots. How far the last remnants of Tower King has fallen. No, let's be clear. If it was a free, like an actual free government service that was provided that didn't, there's no such thing as a free government service. That's my point. But now if you're charging me for it, no. Now if there's good people out there that want to not on my dime, go out there and call liberals faggots, more power to you. Comment Mama complaining about the like to people chat ratio. Bump that shit up. Hit the like button, people. Help a brother out. Bug Fights says, I agree, less state is the best solution. I just don't think it's going to happen. Yes, but that's the thing. Like, it's literally like what the thing when you see when you're a kid, or the hard path, the path less traveled. You ever seen that like motivational poster where it's like the crazy path, and then you have the easy path? Yes, that's the thing. That's the whole trap here. The easy solution is, I want deportations. I want more ICE. Kick out illegal immigrants. Like then this becomes like this is the easy path. This is the easy. We've got to do something. That's what it is. This is something's being done. Like this is the easy path. This is what people call for. Whereas if you go, we're gonna pull back welfare. You go, well, that's hard. That's hard. Oh, we're gonna stop killing people. Ooh, that's hard. Like it's like, yeah, but that's the one that'll actually work. Bug Fight says I do want to pay the $100. Yeah, I had to bump it up for 20 because I started with 20 and I was like, yeah, I might actually be willing to pay $20 a month for that. So I guess Bug Fights is Bug Fights is rolling the dough. You know, maybe I picked a bad example there. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get into Kirk craziness. Let's catch up. I haven't been paying attention to Candace's coverage too, just so you guys know. I know that she's getting deep into the Kirk Erica stuff. I haven't. I've checked out of her nonsense. So that's the sort of commentary you're getting here. But to start off, here's Basil commenting on a Trump video. Let's watch the video first, and then we'll give you a little more commentary. Let's watch this.
There's a reason for bail, long tested. Signed an executive order to bring back mental institutions and insane asylums. We're going to have to bring them back. Hate to build those suckers, but you got to get the people off the streets.
All right, we're opening the asylums again, baby. So we apparently signed an executive order to open them. And then Basil pointed out here, and we had him on the show a while back, and he kind of said something very similar back then. Anti-Semitic paranoia or something similar is going to become a mental health diagnosis by the end of the decade. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if some of these protesters end up in this, which, I guess to be fair, like maybe there's something to that, but I don't know. But yeah, let's be real. I want to be with all this anti-Semitism talk. Some of the craziness Candace has been dropping. Yeah, I can totally. I can see this being a thing. This feels like the path. They're going to try to make a medical diagnosis. Oh, you don't like Israel? Huh. And, well, this might make you a little bit crazy, too. Apparently, Kash Patel and Dan Bongino were focused on their Twitter strategy in the immediate aftermath of Charlie Kirk's death, according to ex-FBI agent John Sullivan. Thought this might be funny to poke in on. Here is an excerpt from what he had to say. He says, Senior Executive number 2 says, whenever there's a critical incident, one of the first things that happens is a conference call with everybody. All the executives, most of the field offices dial in. The director rarely speaks because someone with situational awareness is leading the call. They'll say, here's what happened, here's what we know, here's what we need. But we get on, and it's just Kash berating the special agent in charge in Salt Lake. He's super emotional. And then it turns surreal. He and Bongino start talking about their Twitter strategy. And Kash is like, I'm going to tweet this. Salt Lake, you tweet that. Dan, you come in with this. Then I'll come back with this. They're literally scripting out their social media, not talking about how we're going to respond or resources or the situation. He's screaming that he wants to put stuff out, but it's not even vetted yet. It's not even accurate. Says, when I was an agent, I did hundreds of these cases. The initial information that comes in is always wrong. There's too much coming in, and it takes time to vet. And it was obvious that Kash can't understand that and doesn't want to understand that. Everyone on the call is just like, this guy is completely out of control. Another call, he said, when a crisis happens, the only thing you need to do is call me. The most important thing in any crisis is controlling the narrative. I was like, no. We actually have to do some work here. We're going to have to investigate to solve this. Well, I don't know. Maybe Erica Kirk was in on this conference call because it seems like she may not be too concerned about solving this. Here's a clip from Fox News. Let's watch this. Of course, it's out. Give me a second. StreamYard's being gay. Maybe gay should be illegal. All right, let's bring this back up. All right, we're back in. Now let's try this. All right, here we go.
This is a Fox News alert. Erica Kirk putting the judge presiding over her late husband Charlie's murder trial on notice by invoking her right to a speedy trial as the representative of a victim of crime. You can do that in Utah. They're the only state to have such a law. And in a new court filing, she is accusing defense attorneys of dragging their feet as they attempt to kick the prosecutor off the case. The next hearing on that topic is set for 2 weeks from today.
All right, well, now she's requesting a speedy trial. Now, to be fair, I did miss a little bit of context there because I hadn't watched that clip yet. The show is a morning dump. We're going to go through it all together. It's an info dump. to be fair, I guess she was getting at. Now I don't know. I mean, I would be concerned. I don't know the legal ins and outs. Tyler, where are you? Sound off if you're in the chat. But yeah, I mean, it does seem like, are you able to like invoke your right to speedy trial and later uninvoke it, like as if you hit the fast forward button and go back to normal speed? Because it does seem like what they're saying here is her reasoning is because the defense is dragging their feet. The defense for what's his face, because they're trying to kick off the prosecutor. So a little bit more like, okay, not as clear as the internet's framing it as like, oh, she's trying to get this over with, trying to move on. If anything, there might actually be a legal reasoning to be like, hey, we want to, come on, defense. You're clearly stalling. Let's get to it. Especially if maybe she knows some legal stuff we don't know. Maybe she knows some evidence that's pretty damning that we don't. I mean, who knows? I'm completely open to the idea that Tyler Robinson did this. I'm not as open to the idea that fucking his deck took a 30-06, but yeah. So I don't know, maybe a little bit of a dishonest framing that I've seen from the internet with this one. Where they're going, oh, she's just trying to get this over with. But on the flip side, she has been kind of keeping some weird company as of late. Apparently, she's getting ready to go on she's launching a Make Heaven Crowded tour, which sounds a little bit ominous, headed by her and Pastor Greg Laurie. Apparently, Greg Laurie is currently facing several high-profile federal lawsuits alleging negligence, child sex trafficking violations, and a 2-decade-long cover-up. Let's watch this clip.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Pastor Greg Laurie.
And thank you, Invisible Voice. I was 17 years old, a brand new believer. I heard the pastor say, you need to go out and talk to people about Jesus Christ. And I thought, well, I've been a believer now for 3 weeks. I know a lot of stuff.
All right, so that's Pastor Greg Laurie you just heard talking. They're showing a little bit of that tour. Founder of Harvest Crusade. So let's dig a little bit in these accusations. See, is there anything to it? I'll let you guys be the judge of this. I found one of the articles covering this. This one's from Christianity Today. It says Harvest Christian Fellowship accused of negligence in Romania. Oh wow, does that country sound familiar? Maybe it should. Now I will say, I'm just thinking about it now, just spitballing. Maybe I wonder if there's anything to do with I don't know. I don't even know enough about that. Anybody out there know anything about the Tates? Weren't they in Romania? Don't they have weird accusations of trafficking? I've never really looked into that too much. Maybe I should have somebody on to cover that. Maybe I'm doing too much pattern recognition here. Maybe there's no association, but we have talked definitely extensively about the whole Erica Kirk conspiracy about her time in Romania. So I don't know. Are they bringing back the old team? I don't know. Let's get into this. 2 Romanian men claim a church in California is responsible for the fact that they were repeatedly raped as children in orphanages in the Eastern European country. They say Harvest Christian Fellowship and its leaders, including evangelist and Calvary Chapel pastor Greg Laurie, should have known what was happening and stop it. Marian Barbu and Mihai Constantin Petcu are plaintiffs in 2 lawsuits filed in federal court in California this week. They allege negligence and seek damages from Laurie and Harvest Christian Fellowship, who supported the Romanian ministries along with former pastors Richard Schute and Paul Havsgard. Now, by the way, this was written in, let me see if I can find the date on this. It was written in September 18th, 2025. So this was 4 months ago? So I guess that's right. Yeah, 4 months. About 4 months ago. So about 4 months ago, these people filed these lawsuits. Their suits do not offer evidence that Laurie knew of the abuse allegations, but blame him nonetheless. Harvest Christian Fellowship, in a statement to CT, called the lawsuits sensational and a form of financial extortion. The allegations are serious and disturbing, but the target here should be the alleged perpetrator, not our church. This misplaced lawsuit wrongly targets Harvest and her pastor. So maybe it's bullshit. Paul Havsgard, who worked at the Riverside, California church for about 20 years, went on to start 10 orphanages in Romania in the late 1990s and early 2000s. Oof. He allegedly used them to sexually abuse scores of children. The abuse was savage and prolific, according to lawsuits, terrorizing the boys and girls who came to Harvest homes because they were desperate, and the ministry promised them hamburgers and a safe place to sleep. All right, I shouldn't laugh at that, but that made me think of Trailer Park Boys with Randy whoring himself out for cheeseburgers. But it's not funny. This is children, okay? That's awful. This is evil. It's evil. I shouldn't have made that connection there. But yeah, it's like... There's so many good quotes from Trailer Park Boys with Randy whoring himself out for cheeseburgers. Like, you motherfucker, you out here whoring yourself out for cheeseburgers again? You 15 cheeseburger eating motherfucker. All right, sorry, I should be laughing. This is a serious matter. Harvest Christian Fellowship supported the orphanages financially, but did not provide any oversight, according to attorney Jan Cervenka. The lawsuits argue the church and its pastors knew of allegations against Havsgaard before he went to Romania in 1988 and were told in 2004 of awful accusations at the orphanages but chose to ignore them. They did nothing to protect the children there, Cervenka told the court. Despite proof that Havsgaard was a devious and unrelenting pedophile, Harvest, Riverside, Laurie, and Chute did nothing. They did not fire, suspend, withdraw, or discipline Havsgaard. They neither reported him to the authorities, as was their duty under California law, nor instituted any new policies or procedures at the Harvest homes. Cervenka's firm, McAllister Oliverius, said that it expects to file 20 additional suits with additional victims, holy shit, who were raised in the Romanian orphanages in the coming weeks. I don't know. I'll have to look into that because it's been months now. The defendants in this case have not yet responded to the lawsuits in court or identified legal representatives. Havsgaard could not be reached for comment. Chute, who went on to pastor a Bible church, also could not be reached for comment. The church acknowledged it did fund Havsgaard's orphanages. It also acknowledged it didn't provide oversight, but rejected arguments it was responsible for oversight of the Eastern European ministry. The orphanages were run through the nonprofit Actively Restoring Kids International, which Havsgaard set up independent of the church. Online archives of the Christian Fellowship, the Harvest Christian Fellowship website lists Havsgaard as a minister in 2001, but not in spring 2002. When a denominational magazine profiled the work Havsgaard was doing in Romania in the winter of 2001, it encouraged people to donate and gave a number. The number belonged to Harvest Christian Fellowship's main office in Riverside, California. The following year, when another Calvary Chapel minister working in Romania heard reports of Havsgaard's abuse, he thought he should report it to Harvest Christian Fellowship. He doesn't need to be another day in Romania, Pastor Steve Quarles told Chute, according to lawsuits. He needs to be gone. He's an embarrassment to every single missionary and Christian worker. Get him out of there. Well, props to you, Steve Quarles. Quarles and two other pastors did an audit of Havsgaard's ministry in 2004 and found extensive evidence of abuse, according to lawsuits. Children at the homes reportedly talked about sexual abuse openly, discussing it with each other and adults they trusted on staff. The audit also turned up receipts showing Havsgaard took some of the boys to nearby hotels and purchased snacks and alcohol after midnight, the lawsuits say. Chute, the missions pastor at Harvest Christian Fellowship and a member of Havsgaard's board, reportedly received the results of the internal investigation in November 2004. He allegedly didn't do anything and continued to direct funds to the ministry for 4 years. Harvest Christian Fellowship has 21 days to respond to the court summons, it said, which would be passed up by now. Said the lawsuit claims are absolutely entirely false, and some of it is plainly slanderous. We thank God for courts of law. We expect to vigorously defend against these claims. So maybe I'll have to find something more up-to-date article. Maybe there's more out there somewhere, but I didn't see really. This seemed to be most of the reporting was kind of in this realm. But I don't know. I'd be interested to see what the more up-to-date legal going-ons are here. But let's finish off this portion. Play a couple videos of old Erica Kirk. Some new stuff people have uncovered about her background, which I don't know how much this is significant. I haven't really been paying attention enough. For example, we got her with a new boo here. Here's James Lee saying, give me a second. Let me redo this again. StreamYard's being weird and glitchy. Here we go. So here's her with another guy here. Which, apparently she made some, I don't remember the specifics. You guys sound off the chat if you guys know. I know she made some very specific claims about how many guys she dated in her past and at what time. And so there have been a lot of people who have been coming out. Here's this one guy she did. Here's this other guy she did. Here's this guy she did. Here's that. Oh, here's this. Here's that. Here's this. Here's that. And okay, well, here's one of them. Here's this JT Massey guy. A lot of people have been sharing around this clip. Apparently this was their submission. I'm not gonna make you watch the whole 15 minutes because that'd be nuts, and it's honestly kind of fucking boring. I didn't watch the whole thing. I only watched the first couple, But there's Erica and JT Massey, which were trying out for the Amazing Race 26 back in the day. So let's watch this.
It's all good, baby. It was all a dream.
Hi.
Hi.
Good morning, America.
I've lived in China. I've lived in Chongqing.
Which, okay, what she's saying right now, I've lived in China, and she's going to list off a few other places. People are making a big deal of that, too. I don't think she's really claimed otherwise, but people are more pointing out, like, she's lived at all these different places. Okay, more established facts about her life.
I've been to Romania. I've been to Croatia. Lived in Puerto Rico for a little bit. Really handsome.
You look gorgeous. Are you fixing my... I got a little bacon. Babe, that's deep in there. Give them a cleavage? People want cleavage. Showcase it.
Sex sells, babe.
Sex sells. That's me.
That's against religion.
It's not within the confines of marriage.
Okay, now that right there, a lot of people made a big weird gay deal about this that I saw online. People playing this thing over where she goes, "Ooh, sex sells," and like, "Oh, she's a Christian lady," and then there's that one song like, "Oh, that's not like this." Clearly feels like playful banter to me. Like, now these guys could be deep dicking and doing all sorts of degenerate stuff, or they could be completely chaste and abstinent. I don't know. I don't really care either way, and be behaving the same exact way. I do think people are being ridiculous about this interaction. And that's the only thing I've seen people really actually sharing out of this is this 15-minute video, is that like sex sells thing. But I guess more substantive, kind of more facts came out of like kind of where she's been, something I guess some of the claims about boyfriends, yada, yada, yada. But it will say that part's gay. That's what a lot of people have honed in on here, like fucking retards. But here's one video I thought was kind of interesting. I'm not going to, like I said, I'm not going to make you watch this whole stupid fucking thing, but here's their submission tape to this. That's the only thing significant in there. She kind of goes into weird places. You guys feel free to watch the full length thing. Let me know if there's something else in there of interest. But that's what a lot of people have been freaking out about. Oh my God, she's supposed to be this Christian lady. Here she is talking about how sex sells, when literally it's a joke because he has a V-neck shirt on and because it's a little going kind of a deep cut. And they're like, "Oh, sex sells." It's a stupid joke. It's a stupid joke. This doesn't mean she's breaking her covenant with the Lord to remain chaste until marriage or whatever. It's retarded. But here's this one very much looking like kind of your generic conservative influencer guy dropping some pretty wild info here. So let's watch this.
Folks, so there is unfortunately more stuff that has came out about Erica Kirk. And my God, I was thinking the other day, I don't think TPUSA or Erica Kirk thought that this many people would care, would be interested as far as all of the findings in regards to Charlie Kirk's murder, TPUSA, what happened behind the scenes, all that stuff. It kind of amazes me because, I don't know, maybe they just didn't understand how much of an influence Charlie had. Kind of wild. So the first thing that I wanted to bring up, and my God, this is sad, allegedly to a North Korean weapons laundering shells. Same address, same agent as FBI seized companies.
What the hell is going on here with GGLF, Wyoming, and North Korean weapons money laundering? The FBI seized 3 Wyoming companies for funding North Korean nuclear weapons. Now, Charlie Kirk's life insurance company was registered by the same firm at the very same address as those North Korean shell companies, and it's still the same today. Now, if you watch my last videos, you know about GGLF 2023 LLC, the Wyoming company, which $350,000 loan was given to through TPUSA. That's the life insurance, dissolved for $60 and then reinstated at midnight. But here's what I didn't tell you until now. In May of 2024, the FBI seized 3 Wyoming LLCs, only 3 actually, and it's these exact 3 for funding North Korean weapons destruction programs.
Oh boy.
Culture Box, Next Nets, and Blackish Tech. All 3 registered by Registered Agents Incorporated. All 3 at the same address of Charlie Kirk's LLC, 30 North Gold Street, Suite R, Sheridan, Wyoming. GGLF 2023 LLC, Charlie Kirk's Life Insurance, registered by Registered Agents Incorporated at 30 North Gold Street, Suite R, Sheridan, Wyoming, with the same agent, same address, same suite. The only registered agent publicly identified by the FBI as registering North Korean weapons funding shell companies is the same one that registered Charlie Kirk's life insurance policy. And it's still there right now today. They never moved it. In fact, they reinstated it with the same company. after the FBI headlines, after the assassination, after everything. The insurance company was dissolved for $60, reinstated at midnight, never moved from the address that FBI flagged for weapons funding for North Korea. Do you understand? Kim Jong-un is connected to this directly. I don't know what is going on. Either this is the worst governance in nonprofit history, or it's just not an accident. You decide which one it is, but somebody knows the truth. Share this video because everyone needs.
I mean, look, for those of you who are business owners out there, obviously you don't know who works with your registered agent, and that's a fair thing. I know a lot of people make LLCs in Wyoming and do business outside of the state just because, I don't know, the privacy laws there or whatever, but
Okay. I'd like to see some more on that, but that's a pretty wild way to end off the show. Apparently, it looks like the registered agent, the person who set up the I don't know if I can't even recap that. That is not. It seems like some sort of front type situation, some weird shenanigans happening. But no, I'm sure it's all on the up and up. Everything, nothing to see here, nothing to worry about. Let's roll through chat one last time, and then we'll get out of here. Cut it a little bit early today. Good morning, Heath Holloway. Good morning. Saying oy vey. Good to see you in here. Good morning, Ickenboss, and getting the band back together. Sure seems that way. Got this, says Harvest Christian Fellowship sounds like someone is about to get sacrificed for the corn to grow. Kind of does. I didn't even think about the harvest aspect of it. Yes. Have a good day at work, Got this. She's out of here. We'll see you the next one. Which, by the way, I don't think we'll have one on Monday. I'm actually, I mean, if so, it'll be late. It'll be at an odd time, or probably just not at all on Monday. So we'll see. Maybe Tuesday. If not, I'll be here Wednesday. But actually, on Monday, I know for a fact I'm not, because we're bringing kitties in for show and tell. My daughter is doing a genetics thingy, and we did I show you guys Jeff all the time. You know he has hair, and then you guys have seen my Sphinx with no hair. That have no hair. Jeff is actually is he half or 3/4? I think he might be 3/4. Yeah, I think he's 3/4 Sphinx actually. So while he does have normal hair, he is more Sphinx than he is normal cat hair, genetically speaking. He just presents with his hair because he was the result of an outcross. And we actually have a brother of his that we still have, which is my wife's cat. He's like fixed. We don't like breed him or anything. We don't breed Jeff either. Like basically everyone in the house like has like their own cat except for me, and those are like non-breeding cats. So we have Ozzy, Jeff, and Floof. Like my Ozzy is my wife's cat. He's a hairless cat. And then we got Jeff, who I just showed you guys this morning. Obviously, he has hair. And that's my youngest daughter's cat. And then we have Floof, who's like the dark brown one we have, and he has hair. They're all brothers, every single one of them. Obviously, one of them has no hair. So it's kind of like a show and tell genetics thing or whatever, kind of like how genetics work. And we can literally do a Punnett square kind of showing this. And so we're going to bring in both our kitties. So I won't be here. I'll be at my kids' school with kitties, showing off kitties to little kids. It doesn't sound weird at all, right? All right, let's roll through chat, say some more. But yeah, I probably won't be here Monday. So probably back Tuesday or Wednesday. So, and for the patrons, I have Austin coming back on tonight. We're gonna do the second, but we're gonna continue that episode we started last night and then I had to stop in the middle of. See what else we got in here. See if we got any new people out. Oh no! All right. Someone get Jose a dad. What are you talking about, PJ? All right, guys, let's get out of here. I think you'll enjoy the little outro today that I have for you. It's kind of the same vein of the one we had on the last morning dump. But for those who want to support the show in the best way you can, leave a like, share, subscribe, comment, leave a 5-star review on iTunes or Spotify. You can find the show on YouTube, Rumble, all the major audio podcatchers, and Twitter as well. At Tower Gang Jose is that Twitter account. And you can find, and if you want to support the show the best way you can, you do that with money over at patreon.com. So No Way Jose 2020. Also got that QR code right there if you want to use that thing, my Bob. And there you get access to early episodes. I do about 1 to 2 of those per week. Try to keep about 4 behind the paywall on a given time. I actually have more than 4 right now, I think. You also get access to ad-free RSS feed. You get access to Telegram. You get access to pre-show, post-show, and video calls. I mean, Austin's weekly live call-in show already dead. Also, give a big shout out to my sponsors, which is the highest level of my Patreon. It's a big thank you for everything they do. Also, I have my previous co-host from Tower Gang at Leonard Toad, also at Abrigades, at CWCK, at _ Zeal, Tim Tuttle, at John Klebold, big fan of the show Torn May, at Wayne Tackus, One Hair Car for Kids, No Free Lunch, Jack, Mark Vestibule, and Jacob Winograd of the Biblical Anarchy Podcast. With that, guys, we'll see you on the next one. Enjoy this outro. I thought this would be a fun, adorable, little wholesome one to go. And it also, I played that the one of the guy goofing off with axes the other day, and it reminded me of my upbringing as a child. This reminds me of my upbringing as a child as well. This video right here, this is what me and the boys used to do before we ended up beating the shit out of each other with sticks. It would be like this for an hour or two, us kind of walking through the woods, being all wholesome and very shirey and hobbity. And then next thing you know, we're pulling out our fucking homemade wooden swords and battle axes and beating the fuck out of each other and chasing each other through the woods like real fucking men who were boys. But hey, this is how boys become men. But enjoy this outro. I think this is wholesome. This is nice. You guys will like it. We'll see you all on the next one. Bye-bye.
Hey guys, wait! I'm coming! Ha 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 ha!